Hi everyone, Sneemaster here with another brief game review. I like to give a quick review of games by small developers every so often that I find fun. This review is on the indie game Valor. This game is an open-world, top-down action RPG space game created by Rafael Burgos from Brazil. He created the game by himself in 2022 and has steadily built the game until it is completed recently, although he is still adding new features to the game. The game doesn't have complex graphics, being a top-view sort of game, but you don't really notice that when you start playing. The game doesn't require a fancy computer to run, thankfully, so you can run it on lower-end systems. As an RPG, your character has skill groups that you can level up, such as engineering, combat, exploration, business, and social skills. Within each group are individual skills that you can unlock and level up that grant bonuses for various abilities, such as better shield strength, or better mining, or cheaper buying prices, things like that. The max character level is 50, and you can upgrade one skill with each level. So you do have to manage which skills you're going to level up. You can't level them all up. You also have knowledge areas you can increase that grant abilities too. For example, if you increase your tech level, then you can find better quality gear. Increasing your fleet commander skill increases the number of ships you have in your fleet, and so on. You start out with a single ship that you control manually. You turn the ship with the A and D keys and accelerate with the W key, although you can change the keys. You can apply the space brake with the spacebar. You can buy or find other larger ships in the game that have more capacity for weapons, cargo, and equipment. You can buy ships from stations, but you can also find derelict ships floating in space and tractor them to nearby stations so you can own them yourself. Each ship requires a crew depending on the size of the ship. Shuttles are the smallest at size 1. Yachts are next larger at size 2, corvettes at size 3, frigates are size 4, cruisers at size 5, and then the giant dreadnoughts at size 6. A shuttle only needs 1 crew, yachts only have 1 to 2 crew, while larger ships can have crew sizes of around 20 to 30 for the largest ones. Crews are needed for various tasks on the ship. You have pilots to fly the ship and determine max speed and turning. Co-pilots are on some small ships for extra bonuses. Navigators are used to detect objects around you and in the galaxy, as well as help in warp travel. Engineers manage power, shields, armor, and etc. Supervisors can help with mining, hangars, or trading. Instructors can help crewmates gain experience faster, and gunners manage turret accuracy, weapon damage, and weapon range. Crew members gain experience in whatever job they are assigned as the ship they are on performs functions such as combat or mining. You can find crew by either hiring them from space stations or finding lost escape pods in space. You can use the crew on your own ship, or use them to pilot other ships and add them to your fleet. When it comes to fleets, players can get either their own ships and put crew on them, or you can hire mercenaries to join you. Mercenaries have an initial cost to hire, and then they will take a percentage of any money you loot from other ships, depending on their level to yours. Higher level mercenary ships tend to have better ships with more weapons and defenses. All ships in your fleet will follow you around unless you tell them to dock at a station or do things like mine or heal or something like that. While you are out in space, you can mine asteroids for minerals. You get random minerals depending on the type of rock as well as your mining skill. If your skill is low, then you'll mostly get raw ore that can either be sold as is for a little money or refined to get even more money. You can buy a refinery for your ship at higher level space stations. Minerals and other cargo all take up cargo space, so make sure you have enough space on your ship. Consider getting a larger ship if you run out of space often. There are various factions in the galaxy, such as the Proxima Mining Company, the Merchant-like Syndicate, the Rebellious Children of Terra, the Red Skull Pirates, the Engineering Technomancers, and an alien faction known as the Vengi Ascension. As you raise or lower your reputation with a faction, it will change how they react to you. Friendly factions will help defend you and even heal you, while enemy factions will attack you. Destroying ships of a faction will lower your reputation with that faction, while raising it with enemies of that other faction. You also get money and random loot from destroyed ships, so you could be neutral to all factions, or a protector of certain factions, or just play as a pirate attacking them all. Each faction has their own space stations that buy and sell ships, equipment, weapons, and products. You can also hire crew there, take on missions, or buy map location information, such as where another space station or warp gate is. You can also craft objects at space stations with raw materials if they have the right blueprint, such as weapons or gear or things like that. You can find blueprints by doing missions or as loot from ships. Missions are great ways to make money and experience, and sometimes good loot too. There are cargo missions to either carry a package to another station or find a commodity for that station. There are bounty missions to take out a target, typically an enemy of that faction. Some missions just make you travel around. Be aware that your reputation with a faction will determine if you can dock with a station of that faction and how well you can trade or do missions with them. So try to make friends with a faction if you want to buy or sell from them. Enemy factions will not let you approach their stations and they will attack you. You can also, of course, do regular commodity trading by going station to station and buying and selling like that, or mining, refining, and then selling them. There are also perks you can get from completing certain actions in the game. You can use these perks in your next playthroughs as desired. The perks give you bonuses and drawbacks depending on the perk. For example, you could start more friendly with one faction than another, or a better ability than normal, such as higher armor. You can also unlock better starting ships as you play that you can use in your next playthrough too. The galaxy in this game is made up of a huge number of solar systems. Some systems are linked together by warp gates, while some are not. You can use the warp gates to travel between linked systems, but you can also get a warp drive and use that to jump to the systems directly instead, even ones without connecting warp gates. You just need enough energy cells to perform warp jumps, but the range you can jump depends on your warp drive, your navigator, and your other equipment, as well as any skills you have. Each solar system has a level indicating the difficulty of the ships there, as well as the quality of the products or loot. Some systems have many stations, and some have no stations at all. Solar systems have a fog of war that you can clear by exploring the unknown areas in that system. There are also asteroid fields in some systems that you can mine. Some systems are very dangerous due to high-level ships of enemy factions. There are also sometimes big boss ships in some systems. They are very tough for their level and with many weapons and higher shielding, but they also drop higher level loot. Make sure to have lots of weapons and defenses, plus a good fleet to take them on. Also, some special systems are full of dangerous flying asteroids that will damage your ship. You'll have to quickly dodge the asteroids and warp out of there if you want to survive. They typically do not have warp gates in them. You can also explore junk piles in solar systems to find loot as well, depending on your tech level. Finding junk piles will increase your tech level too. Exploration is important not just for finding loot, but simply traveling in unexplored space gives you XP as you fly, depending on your level compared to the system, so make sure to fly around. If the system level is higher than you, then you'll get much more XP from exploring that system, although the enemies will also be higher than you, so there's that risk. As to upgrading your ship, there are many different weapons and gear you can install. There are laser weapons, ballistic weapons, and missile weapons. Ballistic and missile weapons require ammunition, and energy weapons use a lot of power. All weapons generate some heat, but energy weapons generate the most. You can also get point defense weapons to destroy enemy missiles in flight. They work especially well on turrets. There are also mining beams to mine asteroids, repair beams to repair ships, and tractor beams to grab other ships. You can install all of these on fixed weapon mounts or turreted mounts, depending on the ship. You may require gunners to handle the turrets on larger ships. There are also drones you can also store on larger ships that can fight, mine, or repair. The larger ships can even act as carriers to store smaller ships on them, especially your fleet. For gear, you can install reactors for power, shields, and armor for defense. There's thrusters, gyroscopes, and engines for movement. There are also other devices you can install to help with scanning or detecting loot or valuable asteroids. Tons of other equipment, way too much to cover in this little video. You have to be careful to balance your energy usage, heat buildup, and shield power. You can also temporarily increase or decrease your thrust power, shield power, or weapon power. Also, make sure you have enough ammo for your weapons. With all these features, the game can get a little complex, but it can certainly suck up all your time very quickly when you aren't looking. For a one-person team, this game feels quite complete now and is very fun to play for hours. The game is only $25 on Steam right now, so it won't break the bank to get it. Alright, that's my brief review on Star Valor. I hope you enjoyed the game and check it out. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. You can use my referral code if you decide to jump into Star Citizen, and you'll get 5,000 extra in-game credits. Here's a big thank you to my current patrons. Please check out my Patreon membership to help me make more videos. All patrons and members will have their names listed at the end of my videos and get access to my Discord channel. Patrons and members also have first pick in the next item I'll cover, so feel free to sign up and let me know what you'd like me to make a video on next. Okay, catch you all next time.